Now, here's Ed Bernstein.
Well, that obviously was not Ed, but it was Jimmy Hopper, who is local Las Vegas legend, and actually not really confined to Las Vegas. I mean, you've performed over the world, and but not most recently, but you did serve like what, 5 years at the Bellagio?
That's correct. I actually came here in '99. You know Tony Marnell, wonderful person.
At the Rio, you opened the Rio.
I opened the Rio. I was actually working in San Francisco, and his wife Andrea, they've been together for 20 years. She was a fan of mine, so I performed at his home for their wedding. And fast forward '99, I'm in San Francisco performing, and he calls me and says, "I built a room for you. It's called the Voodoo Lounge, and can you come down?" I went, "Well, I live in San Francisco, you know." And he says, "When do you need me?" He says, "Now." I said, "Can I have like 60 days?" He said, "How about 40?" I said, "Great." So yeah, that's where I made my start, and then from there, over to the Bellagio.
Right. And of course, at the Bellagio, you played piano, you played guitar, you sang. Where did you start? Were you originally a guitarist or a pianist?
I actually started playing guitar when I was, 5 or 6 years old. And my father was a military man, and one day he brings home one of the servicemen to teach me a few chords on the guitar, and I just said, all right, that's what I want to do, play guitar. I didn't really pick up the piano until I was in my 20s, which was, a year or two ago, right? But yeah, my 20s when I started playing piano, because sometimes when I started performing alone, and I thought, if I'm going to be doing a single, like, I have to be able to play more than one instrument. I also play percussions, but guitar and piano, and I'm really digging the piano more.
So you already are playing one instrument, and then a string instrument like a guitar. Then you move to the piano, which is an entirely different, genre of instrument. And now you're older, trying to learn it. Is it a difficult transition?
It really wasn't. I just sat with my guitar in my hand, and I'd hit a C chord or that major D or just whatever, and then I'd go over to the piano and try to find out, and they go, okay, this is how it works. And I'm just all self-taught, And but over the years, you've heard me before, and you've heard when I play a solo, you've heard my orchestration that's behind me, the drums, the bass. I write all of that, and I don't know. 20 years ago, if I'd have heard that, I'd have thought to myself, I'll never be able to do something like that. But, they came out with sequencing 20 years ago, which means, you have these workstation keyboards that you play on it, and it plays back what you played. You do the drums.
You can create
and it plays back, yeah. And so it's funny, in the 80s, Howard Jones, Howard Jones, the singer, had a lot of hits. Many hits, but when he used to go out in concert in the 80s, people wouldn't come see him because they just didn't like that, just one guy on stage, because that's what it wasn't about. However, I love Lorde, Lorde, never be royals. She is just 3 pieces, and she does her own vocal backing tracks, which I do. It's just her and a drummer and a keyboard player, and I love that. I love that people accept that now, because it's really us performing, and then of course, I go out and I do things with orchestras and things like that as well, which is always great.
But there's always, it's always refreshing to see just a singer and a guitar, acoustic guitar, and somebody without all the, pizzazz in the background. And I notice that we have a guitar sitting here.
I certainly brought it with me. It's interesting. A lot of people will say that about me, and I'm sure they say about a lot of people, but even my wife is that way. Oh, when you get up there and you sing the opera and this and that, but I love it when you just pick up your guitar and sing a song.
Yeah.
So that's...
And you do have an incredible range. We'll talk about that in a minute, but maybe you can just, quickly do something on the guitar for us.
All right, I'll do a couple of verses. This is a great song. We talked about it earlier. You come to hear me play, and this was written by Kenny Loggins' cousin, Dave Loggins, and it's a wonderful song. He's kind of a one-hit wonder, but it's okay.
Please come to Boston for the springtime. I'm staying there with some friends and they've got lots of room. You can sell your paintings on the sidewalk, buy a cafe where I hope to be working soon. Please come to Boston, she said no. Won't you come on to me? And she said, a rambling boy, why don't you settle down? Boston ain't your kind of town. There ain't no gold and there ain't nobody like me. I'm the #1 fan of the man from Tennessee. Now this trip, this world goes round and round, and I doubt if it's ever gonna stop. Of all the things I lost, I found, and all that I got, I need a lay to, somebody I can sing to. Please come to LA to live forever. California life alone is just too hard to bear. I live in a house that looks out over the ocean, and there's some stars that fell from the sky. They're up on a hill from here. Please come to LA, she just said no, boy, won't you come on to me? And she said, a rambling boy, why don't you settle down? LA ain't your kind of town. There ain't no gold and there ain't nobody like me. I'm the #1 fan of the man from Tennessee. I'm the #1 fan of the man from Tennessee.
Hey.
Thank
Unbelievable. You have a wonderful voice.
Oh,
And,
thanks,
you know,
thanks.
whether you're doing Italian opera or soft rock or whatever you're doing, you have a repertoire of so much music. I mean, you sing so many different types of genres of music and so many songs. I mean, you get confused with the words, and how does that work?
Well, that's thank God for iPads today.
Like a song like that. If you don't do it for 6 months, are you going to remember the words?
It's funny. I haven't even picked up my guitar in like 6 months. You know, actually, it was November. The last time I picked up my guitar. I mean, I picked them up, but and when you asked me to come on the show, which is very gracious, thank you. Last night I sat behind. I was sitting on the couch and I just picked up my guitar and go, what am I going to do? And I said, oh, maybe I'll try this one, and so I just started playing it last night. And the words just sort of come back to you, but there are times. Many times that I've just been on stage and started singing, and all of a sudden it's like, even my wife will say, what lyric was that? It's kind of, but thank God for, like I can say, iPads now today, you know?
Right. And, you know, it's great that you can sing by yourself, you know, with a guitar in front of one person, or you can be in a stadium. I mean, you've performed in Colquhoun Stadium in front of 15, 20,000 people.
My biggest crowd was 71,000, which was, of course, they didn't all come to see me. That was for the San Diego Chargers playoff football game. I sing the national anthem a lot. I love singing the national anthem because when you're singing the anthem, you've got thousands and thousands of people watching you, and you're in a football stadium, and if some guy's eating a hot dog and getting all weird, there's always a guy next to him going, hey man, shut up. This is the anthem, dude. Chill out. Yeah. And so for 2.5 minutes, you are a big star, you know, and if you sell it, which I can sell it. I hit myself there, probably sounded terrible over the speaker. But years ago, if you remember when Whitney Houston, rest her soul, sang at the, I think it was one of the championship football games, you know, the Super Bowl, and she sang the anthem. It's either that or a baseball game, but she sang the anthem, and it blew me away. So I kind of took her version and I kind of mixed a version with Marvin Gaye, a version of his, and I put this full orchestration together of the our Star Spangled Banner, which I love singing. I sang at John Inson's, I sang at President Bush's, both his inaugurations.
Wow. You get nervous when you perform in an arena like that?
Yes, like just for a few, just until it starts. When I start, I'm okay, you know. But you know, there's just no room whatsoever for error.
Yeah, when I seen you like sing on, years ago, I saw you at the Bellagio, or I saw you at the Palazzo recently. I mean, you were, yeah, you seem so confident and self-assured and just having fun. Yeah.
Well, those kind of gigs are easy, you know. You just get up and do your thing. I think people want to just see you being comfortable on stage and being a real person, you know, and not being some starstruck what you think you might be person, even if you are or aren't. And so I'm comfortable, very comfortable doing that. That's what I do. It's just like taking a shower, man. But when you get on stage and you're, you know, I recently signed with RCCL, Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, and those shows are scripted, you know, because you've got 1,500 people in a performing arts or showroom. And so your orchestra needs to know when you're going to speak and say something funny or not, you know, and the piano player play a little mood music, and that's pretty scripted out. And that gets, you get a little nervous at that, but it's still only the initial when the curtain goes up. Okay, I'm all right now.
Then the adrenaline kicks in.
It just kicks in.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, I know that you also write, and you wrote some music for a show, musical?
Yes, I was approached, oh God, back in the late 90s. I was at the in Harrah's in Atlantic City performing in the showroom, and a gentleman came to me after the show and said, I'd like you to read my script. I read it, and I got back to him and says, what do you want to do? What is this? He says, it's going to be an animated film. Anyway, long story short, we've become partners, and it used to be called The Day There Was No More Music, La-Di-Dum, in a city called La-Di-Dum, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La-Di-Dum. And quickly, it's about a city that's made up of musical instruments, and I made all these, you know, the houses are made of drums, the chimneys are made of like bagpipes that blow out smoke, musical notes. The saxophones in a park where kids can jump in and out of and play, you know, drumsticks or fences going around. It's all about music. And in the city of La-Di-Dum, without music, I mean, music creates beauty, wealth, success, everything, happiness. Without music, they have nothing. So there's a queen, there's a prince, there's a witch, there's a cat that belongs to the witch, you know, who has no life, and a young African-American man named Allegro who really saves the day. And basically, the witch comes in and puts a spell on the king's ear, says, just terrible earache, and she says, well, I'll get rid of it if you get rid of all that music. And he does, and the town goes to, you know, pieces because of it, you know. And of course, there's always a sex, there's always a happy ending on these things.
It's named
and now it's called Shh. Yes.
Yeah.
And we're getting the directors from The Lion King have found interest in it, and so we're hoping to move forward on that. You know, it takes a long time. I was getting very discouraged. You know, and my partner, who was much older, said to me, he goes, "You know how long West Side Story was out there?"
Yeah.
I said, "No." He goes, "Over 7 years." I said, "Oh."
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably 200 years, wasn't it? The old Romeo and Juliet.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But shush, unbelievable.
Yes.
The day the music died.
Yeah.
American
there was
Pie,
no more
right?
music. We wanted to get someone like Nathan Lane or God rest his soul, Robin Williams, to play the witch, and so we'll go from there. Nathan Lane is one of the highest paid actor on Broadway. So.
Right. So if I want to get some Jimmy Hopper music, how do I do that?
Through my website, jimmyhopper.com. Or people can just email me if they'd like to email me at Jimmy Hopper Inc. INC, Jimmy Hopper INC Inc. at Gmail, and I can send them something in the mail. It's just that simple.
You know, it's so wonderful for you to be able to, you know, just take some basic you know, strings and perform like you do. And today there's a whole, you know, very popular new genre of music with disc jockeys. And producing music and creating, you know, studio versions, and it's mind-boggling to me how this stuff even comes out at the end of the day, but it does. And we'll be right back with Teenwolf and Shelco, with two very, very successful local disc jockeys.
Awesome.
These guys work for Madonna. This is big time.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
These guys are, these kind of people are, they have a talent. They have a real talent.
Yeah. We'll be right back. Accidents don't discriminate. They can happen anywhere to anybody. It really comes down to results.
Enough said. Call Ed.
I'm Ed Bernstein, and I've been getting those results for nearly 40 years.
EdBernstein.com.
Well, if you know anything about Las Vegas, you know that the biggest thing in town is what's going on in the nightclubs. I mean, seem to be making more money than the casinos lately. And with me today are two guys who are partially responsible for that happening, Shelco and Teenwolf. I'm going to call DJs. Is that the right expression?
DJs,
what do I
yeah.
call you guys?
That's right.
DJ
DJs,
producers?
yeah, and producers. So.
DJs and producers. And you know, there's not a hotter place in the world other than Las Vegas to be a DJ.
Exactly.
And you know, before we go much further in discussing this, I would like to show our viewers exactly, you know, what you guys do at night.
Let's see.
And we have some video. Now, look, I got to be honest with you. To me, it looks like the best job in the world. I mean, you're just you know, pushing some buttons and jumping around. You got you know, adoring fans all over the place.
Part-time acrobats.
Yeah, but it's much more complex than that, right?
Yes.
Shelco, you know, what's going on in the behind the scenes?
We
here?
definitely have months in the studio where we're creating all this music that we end up playing at our shows and stuff. And that process is just like creating any other song. And then when it comes to like creating the DJ sets, it's just like we kind of see what culture's in that city or whatever and whatnot, and then Brian will go and just kind of just dabble into their.
It's really about reading the crowd.
Yeah.
It's especially in this city, we all have that fear of getting pulled off. There's been multi-million-dollar DJs that have been pulled off because they either don't have the song that maybe a person who is buying a lot of bottles and they're spending a lot of money at the club is asking for, and if you don't have that, they will pull you off. So it's a lot of years of training. We've both been playing for over 10 years, so it's just knowing that at any moment we could have to switch up the music or have to, you know, tailor it, especially for a certain crowd or a certain club.
Of course, you know, the biggest recording artists in the world today work hand in hand with DJs in doing their music, right?
Exactly.
And didn't Madonna work with, you guys work with Madonna in producing something on her last
Yes,
CD?
we did a song called Unapologetic and then B word. We're not going to say the actual word because, yeah, it was really surreal for us, especially since we work out of his parents' house.
Pretty much.
Okay, so you're working out of your parents' house, and then you obviously get a call from, how does this work? Somebody calls you and says, hey, Madonna, would like to talk to you guys? Or,
yeah, we were working with pretty much a very known EDM DJ and producer named Diplo, and
Electric, EDM.
EDM is, sorry, electronic dance music.
Okay.
So he's worked with Beyonce, Diplo. He's worked with Rihanna and pretty much everybody that's big right now. Justin Bieber, he just has like a #1 single with him right now. So he was contracted by Madonna, and we've always worked very hand in hand with Diplo. So he asked us, you know, for something that we had maybe laying around. So we had this reggae song that we had just begun. We sent it to him, and a few months later he sent it back, and Madonna was on it. So that's...
So what happens financially with that? You get a piece of the residuals on that?
Yeah, we get production credits, and we also get royalties and publishing.
Wow, that's great.
So,
now I have to disclose something here because I had you guys do something for me.
oh yes.
Right, because we wanted to do a radio commercial, and we wanted to do something that was relevant to our radio audience, and I asked you to, hey, can create a little jingle for us, and you did. You put the words and the music, and you put it together, and this is how it sounded.
If you were injured in a car crash, enough said, call Ed. Or you got hurt at work, enough said, call Ed. He'll treat you with respect. Pick up the phone, enough said, call Ed. 240 That's 240
EdBernstein.com.
So, like the beat, obviously, the rhythm is the most important part of what you're doing, right?
Right. But it has to be the perfect...
We will spend about an hour on just about 8 bars of a song until that sounds like amazing, and then we know, all right, it's time to create the whole song. So
We have banks upon banks of kicks, snares, hi-hats, and it just has to merge so perfectly and sound amazing all together. So that plus even the mastering, it takes almost a day just mastering a song to make it sound high quality.
So you need a good ear for that. Then you need to pay attention to what the audience. So you need good eyes and good intuition on what's going on. So we were talking before we went on the air about how you guys met. You were both working separately as DJs out of high school, right?
Yeah.
Doing parties at teenage parties.
At
Right.
homes, and that's how we got our first following, and that's how we first ran into each other. So I was doing mine, Shelco was doing his. Eventually I heard about him, he heard about me, and we worked together in the studio. We were both producing. There was very little production going on, especially here in Vegas.
Yeah.
It was really a lot about the indie rock scene. So the Killers and Panic at the Disco and those guys. So for us, Shelco has a background in punk rock music and playing, those
bands.
Doing that whole thing, and then I've always just been messing around on like these free computer programs which you could produce on. I was actually going to be in broadcasting and doing videos but it's always been music that's been
So
underlying.
do you create new tracks, and so how do you promote it? I mean, how do you have music that you can release? I mean, people don't really buy CDs anymore, right?
No, not anymore.
How does this
We
work?
usually will release on a new music site called beatport.com or iTunes, which follows up afterwards.
Well, I didn't know. You were telling me earlier. iTunes has a disc jockey area, right?
Well, it's Beatport. It's its own company,
Okay.
and they're strictly for DJs. So when DJs look to go play a party, they go on this website and they'll type anything that has to do with their dance music or whatnot. And
So they can download your music, and then they have to pay you for it?
Yes.
yes,
Right, and you get a royalty on
Yeah,
that.
so we're signed to a music record label out of the Netherlands called Mix Mash Records, and we are exclusive to them, but not exclusive to them. So we can do on...
Well, I understand that.
Yeah.
but-
On every other time. Just making
You're
sure.
here, but you're not here.
Yeah.
Got it.
And we're there.
Yeah. So, all right, so you keep creating new tracks, more music, and disc jockeys around the world can download it and pay you for it.
yes.
And then how about recording artists? How do you, why is what you're doing important to a recording artist?
Right now, especially, it's most relevant, and I think they want fresh ears, fresh styles.
Pop music is now become dance music, especially even in hip hop as well.
Yeah.
Everywhere you listen to, they are turning to the dance music producers because they're coming up with the brand new ideas, different sounds. It's what the kids want. They know. Especially, we have a friend that goes by DJ Snake that had the song "Turn Down for What." He was the first producer and DJ to hit #1 on the Billboard charts with just an instrumental song.
Well, when do you see dance, the whole dance scene, the whole club scene, going in 5 years?
A little bit more mainstream, for sure.
More instruments, for sure.
There's going to be more quality to it. It's not going to be Rihanna, her song. It's going to be a DJ featuring Rihanna, and it's going to be a lot more of that.
Yeah.
I definitely feel.
You can get more of a top billing, huh?
Yeah, there's a producer by the name of Martin Garrix that had a song called Animals, and now he's being managed by the same manager as Justin Bieber. So it's come to that point where, you know, they know that there's so much money in dance music and DJs and this culture because it's so positive. Not only that, but, you know, there's a huge following for it now.
And being you know, stationed in Las Vegas, how important is that?
Very important.
It's the capital, almost. There's Ibiza in Spain, or Ibiza, and then there's Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
I feel
Ibiza
like
competes?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. Right now, it's
time of the
split.
year,
It's
right?
split. Yes.
Exactly.
Well,
Vegas is all year round,
I
right?
believe it's summertime.
Yeah, summertime on the beach and the beach. I got that. In Vegas, you're 12 months a year.
Yeah,
So I throw my hat on the Vegas corner. You know, it's smarter to be here than
It's
in
home.
Ibiza.
It's
Yeah,
home.
let's go on vacation in Ibiza. Hey, thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for having
Teenwolf, I forgot to ask you when you became Teenwolf another time, and Shelco. So, contacting you guys, we have
A Facebook, yes.
we got a Facebook. Okay, it's up on the screen.
SGXTW.
Okay, we have some music we can go out here with,
Let's do it.
Christian. Yeah. Accidents don't discriminate. They can happen anywhere to anybody. It really comes down to results.
Enough said. Call Ed.
I'm Ed Bernstein, and I've been getting those results for nearly 40 years.
EdBernstein.com.